You believe you need to cut out all distractions to have a fulfilling life. But Buddhist monks discovered 2,500 years ago that the problem isn't the distractions themselves, it's your relationship with them. When you stop fighting every notification, every scattered thought, every impulse, and learn to observe them like leaves falling from a tree, something extraordinary happens. You finally find the inner silence that was always there, waiting. The truth is that your life isn't fragmented by distractions, it's fragmented by the resistance you create against them. Buddha taught that suffering comes from attachment, and this includes attachment to the idea of having a perfectly focused mind. Subscribe to the channel, leave your like and comment from which part of the world you're watching, because now I'm going to tell you everything. Have you ever noticed how hard it is to pay attention in your own life? Every morning when you open your eyes, things start to pull at you. The room might be quiet, or maybe you hear birds, cars, or voices from another part of the house. Sometimes even before you sit up in bed, you notice your phone. It lights up with new messages, reminders, and news. Sometimes your mind starts running with ideas before you even move. You think about what you need to do today, or things that happened yesterday, or what you hope will happen in the future. All of this happens very fast, and you have not even had breakfast yet. Many people feel the day has already started before they are ready. Noise comes from every direction: the sound of water in the shower, a neighbor's radio, or children playing outside. Even if you live alone, your thoughts can fill the space with noise. Memories come up, plans form, and worries sneak in. Before you know it, half of your attention is somewhere else. Distractions are not just one thing. Sometimes they are loud, like a car horn or the ringing of a telephone. Sometimes they are quiet and soft, like the sound of leaves moving in the wind or a gentle memory coming into your head from long ago. Other times they come in the form of messages or pictures on your phone or words from people around you. Sometimes you are distracted by hunger or some feeling in your body like being too hot or too cold. Distractions can be everywhere. It is easy to think that distractions only come from outside of us. We may blame sounds, people, or the busy world around us. But if you look more closely, you will see that many distractions come from inside. Your own mind can become as loud as a busy street. You can be sitting in a silent room, but inside your head, things are moving and jumping in all directions. Thoughts fight for your attention, pulling you this way and that way, making it hard to relax or focus. This pulling of your attention can happen at any time. Maybe you are trying to read a book or finish some work. Suddenly, a memory appears in your mind, or you remember a task you forgot to do. Maybe you hear a buzz from your phone or someone asks you a question and you lose your place. You try to get back to your work, but more things pop up in your head. Sometimes you wonder, why can I never just focus? Or what is wrong with me? The truth is, it is not just you. Distractions are a normal part of life for everyone. Children get distracted at school, adults lose focus at work, and even older people can forget what they wanted to say. It happens in every home, every city, and every country. If you have ever felt that distractions only happen to you, know that this is not true. This is something every person faces every single day. Why do distractions feel so strong now? Over the last few years, more and more things have been made to ask for our attention. Phones that beep and flash, televisions that run 24 hours a day, bright colors, moving pictures, loud music, and lots of information. Many people need to use these tools for work, school, or to stay in touch with family, but it means there is always something new that tries to catch your eye or ear. Think about a normal day. Maybe you plan to spend a quiet hour reading or working or talking to a friend. In just that short time, you might get several messages on your phone. Someone could knock on your door, a car might drive by, or you might start thinking about something else you want to do later. Even if you turn off your phone and sit in a quiet room, your mind may still wander. You might remember an old joke or worry about a problem. Sometimes you might get hungry or tired. That feeling becomes the new distraction. At times, people feel angry or sad because of all these interruptions. They hope for a perfect day with nothing asking for their attention. but this almost never happens. Most days, there will always be some noise, thought, or message that pulls you away from what you are doing. It is normal to wish things were quieter or simpler. Many people believe, if only I could find silence, I could get things done and feel peaceful. But silence can be hard to find, even in the quietest places. Some people feel that being distracted is a kind of failing. They think if they get pulled away from their work or conversation, maybe they are not strong enough or smart enough. But this idea is not true. Being distracted does not mean there is something wrong with you. It just means you are human and living in a world that is full of things that want your attention. Let's look at where distractions come from and how they show up in our lives. First, there are outside distractions. These are things you can see, hear, touch, or smell. Your phone makes a sound. Somebody calls your name. You smell food cooking in another room, or you hear music from a car passing by the street. These things are outside of you, but your attention moves toward them whenever they happen. Then there are inside distractions. These come from you. A thought comes into your mind and you follow it. Maybe you remember something funny or you get an idea. Maybe you start to worry about something coming later. Sometimes you feel bored, excited, tired, or sad. Your feelings can become distractions too. They pull your attention away from what you wanted to focus on. There is also another kind of distraction. This happens when you are doing something and you think about what else you could be doing instead. Maybe you are working, but you start to wonder about what you will eat for dinner. Or you are playing with a friend, but you remember that you have homework to do. This wish to be somewhere else or to be doing something else is very common. It can make it hard to enjoy the moment you are in. Sometimes people try to fight distractions by making their world smaller. They turn off their phone, close the door, or ask everyone to be quiet. This helps for a while, but soon new distractions find their way in. The mind always finds something to play with or worry about. Even monks and people who live in very silent places say that their thoughts can distract them. This shows that distractions are not just a problem of modern life, but a part of how the mind works. You might notice that some days distractions feel stronger than other days. Maybe you are tired or didn't sleep well. Maybe you are excited about something coming up or worried about a problem. On those days, every sound seems louder and your mind jumps around even more. On other days, you might feel calmer and more focused, and distractions seem smaller. Our bodies and minds change every day, and so our attention changes too. It can help to notice how your body feels when you are distracted. Maybe your heart beats a little faster, or you feel jumpy or restless. Maybe your breathing changes, or you feel tense in your shoulders or hands. When your attention is pulled again and again, your body feels it too. You might get tired faster or feel like you cannot sit still for long. Most people think of distractions as something bad, like a thief that steals your time. But distractions are simply things that ask for your attention. Some distractions, like a loud alarm or a fire, are important to notice. They can keep you safe. Others are just a normal part of life, like a bird singing or a funny thought, or your own feelings. Not all distractions are dangerous or bad. Some even bring joy or new ideas. The problem comes when there are too many distractions, or they arrive when you want to do something important. If you are working, learning, or talking to someone you care about, you want your attention to stay with that thing or person. But when something else pulls you away, again and again, it can be hard to finish what you started. People often feel tired or upset when their days are filled with interruptions. In today's world, it can seem like there is always something new to see or hear. Our phones, computers, and televisions make sure of that. News arrives all day and all night. Messages come from friends, family, and people at work or school. Even when you do not have your phone in your hand, you might think about something you read or saw online. Every new thing asks, "Please look at me now." Some people try to solve this problem by doing many things at once. They answer emails, cook food, and talk to someone, all at the same time. This is called multitasking. But when we do many things at once, our attention jumps back and forth very quickly. Instead of doing one thing well, we may end up feeling tired and not finishing anything the way we want. Studies have shown that the mind cannot truly focus on more than one main thing at a time. Each time you switch between tasks, you lose a little time and energy, and it is harder to remember where you left off. Other people try to escape from distractions by daydreaming. Sometimes the mind wants a break, and dreaming or thinking of something beautiful can feel nice. But if you do this too often, or when you need to be paying attention, it can keep you from finishing things that matter to you. Another way distractions can show up is through feelings in your body. When you feel hungry, tired, itchy, or uncomfortable, your mind notices right away. These feelings can pull you away from what you are doing. Even happy feelings like excitement can be a type of distraction when they take all your attention at once. Sometimes we think we can control every distraction if we just try harder. But even people with strong willpower get distracted sometimes. People who work in quiet offices, crowded markets, or peaceful libraries all face this problem. Distractions are normal, and nobody is free from them. Trying to fight them completely almost never works. The first step in understanding distractions is to see them clearly. Notice that distractions are not only around you, they are also inside your own mind and body. Notice how often distractions show up. Maybe start paying attention to every time your mind moves away from what you are doing. At first, you might feel surprised at how often it happens. There is nothing wrong with this. Remember, everyone has this experience every day. It can help to ask yourself, where is this distraction coming from? Is it something outside you, like a sound, a person, or a message? Or is it something inside, like a memory, a worry, or a daydream? By asking this simple question, you start to understand your attention a little better. Some distractions are quick and light. They come and go, and you return to what you were doing. Others hold your attention for a long time. Maybe you see something on your phone, and suddenly you have spent a whole hour looking at pictures or reading messages. Sometimes, a single worry can fill your mind, making it hard to focus for a long time. These longer or deeper distractions take more energy. Notice if you feel different after many distractions happen. Do you feel tired? Annoyed? Or maybe you feel nothing at all? Each person has a different way of feeling after being distracted. Some people lose motivation. Others get more energy when something new comes into their day. There is no right or wrong way to feel, but noticing your own feelings helps you understand yourself more. It is good to remember that some distractions are important. If someone you love calls your name, or if there is a sudden danger, your attention should move quickly. This is part of being alive. Other distractions are not about safety or love. Some are just habits. We look at our phone because we are bored, not because it is urgent. We let our mind wander because it is tired or needs something new. Think of the world as a place that is always full of things asking for your attention. You are not alone in feeling pulled in many directions. The people in your family, your friends, and even people you do not know all face the same problem. Even if they do not talk about it, they also feel distracted, lost, or unfocused at times. Some days it feels easy to pay attention. Other days it feels almost impossible. Knowing all of this does not change the world right away. Phones will still ring, people will still talk, your mind will still dream and worry and make plans. But by seeing how distractions happen and understanding where they come from, you begin to see that they are a normal part of being alive today. Distractions are not the enemy. They are just the way the mind and the world work together. Once you see how normal distractions are, you might feel less angry or sad about them. You start to see that it is not a problem that only you have. It is not a sign of weakness or failure. The mind gets distracted because that is what minds do, especially in a world full of new things. By noticing distractions instead of fighting them, you begin to learn more about how your mind moves. This is the first step in finding more peace and focus, even when life is busy and full. When you pay close attention, you realize that distractions are everywhere, every day. They are outside in the sounds and sights you notice. They are inside in your feelings and thoughts. You discover how often your attention moves from one thing to another, and that this is part of being human. When you understand distractions in this way, you can begin to change your relationship with them. This understanding helps you be more patient with yourself and kinder when your mind wanders. You know that distractions are not going away, but you can learn how to live with them in a new way. Once you understand that distractions are a normal part of life, it is easy to wonder what you should do next. Many people think that if they could only remove every distraction, they would finally feel calm. They believe that to really focus or enjoy life, every noise, every message, and every little thing that pulls at their attention must disappear. This idea sounds simple at first. You might tell yourself, if I turn off my phone, close all the doors, and make everyone be quiet, then I will have the perfect space to focus. You may hope that peace and productivity will appear when your world is completely silent and empty of interruptions. People everywhere try to make their days quieter and more organized. Some wake up early so they can work before anyone else is awake. Some wear earplugs to block sounds or play music to cover background noise. Others put up notes asking for privacy or try special tools and apps to stop notifications from appearing on their screens. Many hope these changes will finally create a space where distractions cannot reach them. Sometimes these methods help. You may get a few minutes or even an hour when everything feels quiet and easy. For a short time, you might think, this is what I need. This is how I will get things done. But almost always something new appears. A sudden sound from outside, a thought you cannot ignore, a message that feels urgent, or maybe your own body feels restless or tired. There is always another thing waiting to pull at your mind. Trying harder to block every distraction can become tiring. You might spend more time looking for quiet than actually focusing. Each time a new distraction appears, you can feel annoyed or upset, thinking, why does this keep happening? What am I doing wrong? You may blame yourself for not having enough willpower. You might also become angry at people or things around you for disturbing your peace. This search for total silence can start to feel impossible. The world we live in is never completely quiet. Even when you close your eyes and cover your ears, your mind keeps working. Thoughts, memories, plans, and feelings move by themselves. Even your heart, breath, and the feeling of your body are always present. When you try to build a place where nothing can distract you, you are trying to change things that are part of being alive. Total silence does not last. Many people find that the more they try to make the world quiet, the louder their own mind becomes. When you focus hard on avoiding all noise, your attention notices every little sound, every feeling, every thought. Small things that you might usually ignore become big problems. Each interruption feels more important and more annoying. Instead of helping you relax, the pressure to keep away distractions creates more stress. This constant fight against noise and interruption can make you tired. You may find that your body feels tense. You may breathe more quickly or hold your breath. Your shoulders might feel tight, your head may hurt, or your stomach could feel uneasy. The need to control everything around you can make even simple tasks feel heavy. You may start to avoid starting new things because you think, I need the perfect moment first. You might end up doing less, not more. You may notice that when you finally get a quiet moment, your mind does not suddenly become clear. Instead, now that there is less noise around, you become more aware of the noise inside. Thoughts keep moving. You think about the quiet moment itself, or remember things you need to do. Sometimes you notice feelings of loneliness, boredom, or worry. Even without outside distractions, your attention finds something new to focus on. You realize that the mind creates its own noise. People who chase perfect silence often feel let down. They believe that if only they try a little harder, they will reach the state of focus they want. They try new routines, change their space again and again, or search for tips about productivity and quiet. It might work for a little while, but each time new problems appear, the mind keeps looking for something better. There is always a hope that the next tool, the next method, will finally bring peace and perfect focus. This hope can go on for a long time, making people feel as if real comfort is always just out of reach. Some people think they have finally found a perfect way to escape distractions. They may decide to go to the countryside, climb a mountain, or even lock themselves away for a few days. At first, the world feels peaceful. After some hours, though, their mind fills the empty space. The same worries, dreams, and plans arrive. Nothing outside has changed, but the inside world is busy as always. Isolation can make you see just how active your own mind truly is. If you look around, you can see these struggles everywhere. Students at school put in earphones and hope not to be disturbed. Workers use special lamps or closed doors to be alone. Parents try to find a moment of quiet after their children go to bed. Even people who have everything they wanted, a good job, a nice home, friendly neighbors, still find focus hard to hold on to. Young people, adults, and even older people all feel pulled by distractions. This is not a problem of age. It is not a problem of personality either. You do not become weak just because you get distracted, and you do not become strong only because you can focus for a while. Everyone gets distracted sometimes, and no one can stop all interruptions forever. You might, for a short time, enjoy a perfectly quiet morning or an afternoon with no messages or noise. But these moments always end, and life brings more sounds, people, and thoughts that ask for your attention. Trying to hold on to perfect silence is like trying to hold on to a cloud or a shadow. The more you reach for it, the more it slips away. The search for perfect focus can easily turn into a circle. You start by thinking, I need silence to do my best. You make changes around you, closing doors, asking for less noise, using new tools. Soon, a distraction appears. You feel frustrated because your plan did not work. Then, you try even harder, making new rules or becoming stricter with yourself or others. Each time, you become more tired and more unhappy. The more you hope for complete control, the more powerless you may feel. This hope creates stress, not peace. People often feel guilty, thinking, if only I was more disciplined, this would not happen. Or they blame the world outside, thinking, these people and noises are ruining my life. But no person can stop every distraction, and nothing in the world can protect you forever from the sounds, thoughts, and feelings that appear. You may wonder why this longing for perfect peace is so strong. Most people want their lives to feel easy and ordered. They want to know what comes next and to feel in control. This desire can make the smallest things, like a phone ring or a knock on the door, feel like big problems. The more you believe that silence is needed for happiness or success, the more upset you become each time you are interrupted. People everywhere have made rules and ideas about what makes a perfect space. Some imagine a quiet room, gentle light, and no interruptions. Others dream about mornings with no noise or evenings with just their own thoughts. These ideas make it seem that happiness and focus are possible only when the world outside is exactly as we wish. But the real world does not listen to these wishes. Things change from moment to moment. What feels peaceful today may feel loud tomorrow, and what was a help before might become another problem. It is easy to confuse quiet surroundings with a quiet mind. Many hope that if they can just make everything around them silent, their mind will also become clear and sharp. But after years of chasing silence, you may see that the problem is not only what happens around you, it is what happens inside too. Even monks, writers, and athletes who spend years in special training talk about being distracted by their own thoughts. Silence outside does not always mean peace inside. Sometimes believing that perfect focus is possible makes people more likely to give up quickly if they get distracted. They might think, if I am not calm now, there is no point in trying. Or, I failed again. Why bother? This black and white way of thinking makes every small distraction feel like a big failure. It also makes it hard to start again, because you begin to fear being pulled away from what matters. Some people decide to avoid all activities where they might be distracted. They stop reading if the room is noisy or wait for the perfect mood before starting new things. Over time, this can mean missing out on important or joyful parts of life. The world feels smaller and less interesting, all in the hope that one day you will find a time and place with no interruptions. This time rarely comes. It can help to notice when you are caught in this search for silence and control. You might hear yourself thinking, "I cannot do this until everyone is quiet." Or, "I can only work well with no interruptions." Begin to see if these thoughts are really true. Ask yourself if silence is truly the only way you have ever focused or finished something. Many times you have done things well with noise in the background or with interruptions along the way. These memories show that success is possible even when life is not perfect. Some people think that if they just push hard enough, their mind will become still. But just as you cannot stop the waves in the ocean by force, you cannot always make your thoughts or the world be quiet just by willing it. Trying too hard creates stress inside. Your mind might become more jumpy and restless. You may find that it becomes harder, not easier, to focus. There is nothing wrong with wanting peace and quiet, but it is not always available. It is better to notice this, rather than to demand that life be silent all the time. Some days will be louder than others. Sometimes you will feel focused. Other times, your mind will wander. These changes are not your fault. They are part of how life and attention work. When you begin to let go of the hope for perfect silence, you can find small ways to work with distractions rather than fighting them every moment. Maybe you close your eyes for a few seconds, or remind yourself that a sound is just a sound. Maybe you allow a thought to come and go without following it. Little by little, you start to see that quiet is something that can exist even when the world is not silent. You may realize that you can be gentle with yourself on noisy days, just as on calm days. If you talk with others, you will often hear the same stories. Friends, family, teachers, co-workers, everyone has times when distractions make things hard. Some laugh about it, some feel stressed, but nobody is free from it. These stories connect us, showing that focus is something we practice, not something we find once and keep forever. People have tried every way to control their world. They build walls, use technology, or try new habits. But in every place and every time, distractions still appear. The hope for perfect focus is a very old one. Every generation has wanted it, and every person has discovered how difficult it is to keep. Some learn to accept a little noise or movement. Some become more relaxed about interruptions. This makes it easier to keep going, even when things are not perfect. Other people hold on tightly to control and find themselves feeling more anxious. Everyone finds their own way, but the truth stays the same. No one can remove all distractions forever. You may have memories of times when you felt very focused. Maybe you enjoyed a story, finished a task, or listened closely to someone talking. If you remember those times, you might see that the world was not perfectly quiet. There may have been noise or movement around you, but your mind was still able to pay attention. Focus does not depend on silence alone. It is important to know that looking for a perfect environment will lead to disappointment. The pressure to make life silent and simple only brings more worry. You become busy with the hope that you can control everything rather than enjoying or finishing what you care about. If you let yourself notice distractions and keep working anyway, you will find that focus is possible in many places and times. If you can be kind to yourself and allow some things to happen without feeling upset, your mind may start to relax. You become less caught up in the search for silence and more able to do what you hope to do. This way of living makes it easier to move with life instead of fighting against every little thing. You see that peace is not the same as silence, and that you can pay attention even when your world is full of sounds, thoughts, and feelings. When you stop hoping for perfect focus, you find small moments of real focus more often. The more you see how the search for silence can cause extra stress, the more you can decide to let go. When you accept that the world and the mind are always changing, you can relax and stop blaming yourself or others. You begin to see that real focus is not about making everything perfect, but about finding your way step by step, even when distractions appear. With this new understanding, the desire to punish yourself for getting distracted grows smaller. You realize there is another way to meet interruptions, with patience, with curiosity, and with kindness. Life becomes less heavy, and you are more ready to see what happens next. When you begin to accept that life is full of sounds, thoughts, and feelings asking for your attention, you also start to notice something else. Every time you hear a noise, feel a buzz in your pocket, or remember something you wanted to do, you do not just experience the distraction itself. You also have a reaction to it. This reaction happens very quickly, often before you have time to think about it. A car horn sounds and your body might become tense. Your phone buzzes and you might feel your heart beat faster or your mind become agitated. When you remember a task you forgot, you may feel worried, guilty, or stressed. Even a kind word from a friend can bring pleasure and happiness, which can pull your attention away from what you were doing. These reactions show up in your body and your feelings, not just your thoughts. Many people try to push away these reactions as soon as they notice them. If you feel annoyed by a sound, you might wish it would stop or hope that you can block it out. If a thought distracts you, you might tell yourself not to think about it. You may try to ignore your feelings, wishing that you could stay calm. When you cannot control these reactions, it can make you feel frustrated or sad. Sometimes you might even get angry at yourself for not staying focused or calm, or at others for causing the disturbance. This cycle can happen many times in a single day. Something distracts you. You feel a reaction. You try to push away the reaction or the distraction. When that does not work, you may feel even more upset. Every time a new sound or thought appears, the cycle repeats. If you watch closely, you might see that your energy goes not only to the distraction itself, but to your reaction to it. This makes the distraction feel even bigger. It is natural to feel this way. People everywhere want to stay comfortable and focused, so when something pulls their attention, it feels like a problem. If the distraction is strong, your whole body might react. Your muscles become tight. Your breath quickens. Your heart beats faster. Even your face might look different. These changes can happen without you noticing them, but they use up your strength and make you tired. Sometimes, instead of reacting with anger, you might react with worry or fear. You might worry that you will never finish your work. You may fear that you are not able to control your own mind. You may even judge yourself, thinking, "Why am I always so distracted?" These thoughts can cause pain deep inside, and they can stay with you even after the original distraction is gone. If you continue to struggle against distractions every day, your mind and body can begin to feel heavy. You may feel out of breath or restless. You may find it hard to sleep or to enjoy the things you love. The pressure you put on yourself to stay focused becomes another source of stress and discomfort. Soon the fight against distractions feels as troubling as the distractions themselves. Other times you might blame the world around you for your lack of peace. You might think, "My family is too noisy," or "I can never get things done at work because people keep talking." You may wish that the world would change and give you quiet. You may feel that your friends or coworkers do not respect your need for focus. These thoughts can make you feel separate from others and even resentful. When you set your mind against the world outside, every small noise or interruption becomes a reason to be unhappy. In these moments, it is easy to forget that distractions are normal for everyone. It is also easy to forget that your own reaction matters just as much as the distraction itself. When you think only about what disturbs you, you may lose sight of the simple fact that life is always changing, and you cannot control everything inside or outside of you. Trying to control it all brings tension, not peace. Your reactions usually come from habit. If you have always tried to block noise or push away thoughts, This reaction happens again and again, even without thinking. If you have learned to blame yourself or others, your mind follows that path every time you are distracted. These habits can grow very strong if you repeat them day after day. Over time, they make distractions feel heavier and harder, and it can seem that you are always fighting a losing battle. For many people, the hardest part is not the distraction itself, but the thoughts and feelings that come afterward. If you notice a sound but do not react, the sound passes and you move on. If you notice a sound and feel angry or frustrated, your mind holds on to the experience long after the sound has ended. The reaction lives on inside you as tension, worry, or sadness. This inner struggle uses a lot of energy. You try to block unwanted sounds, push away thoughts, or change how you feel. When this does not work, you may start to think that there is something wrong with you. These thoughts can make you feel isolated, as if you are the only one who cannot control distractions. The truth is, every person goes through this experience. Even people who seem calm on the outside have moments of frustration and stress on the inside. Nobody is free from reactions to distractions. Sometimes you may try to ignore the distraction by doing something else. You may eat, check your phone, walk around, or start a new task. This can give your mind a small rest from the reaction, but it does not solve the problem. The next time a distraction appears, the same feelings may come back. The habit is still there. There are also moments when you let the reaction take over. If you feel angry at a noise, you may say something sharp to someone nearby. If you feel worried about work, you may rush through your day without taking care of yourself. If you feel sad, you may pull away from friends and family. These responses are natural, but they do not always make life easier. They often leave you feeling worse than before. Some people try to avoid any situation where they might be distracted. They stop going to places that feel too busy. They say no to events if they think they will not be able to focus. This habit can make your world feel smaller, and you may miss out on experiences you might enjoy. Instead of life feeling easier, it can begin to feel more limited. When you understand that your reaction to distraction causes pain, you can start to notice how this happens for you. The next time you are interrupted by a sound or a thought, pay attention to what happens in your body. Does your heart beat faster? Do your muscles tighten? Do you start to feel anxious or impatient? Notice also what happens in your mind. Do you criticize yourself? Do you blame others? Do you wish life would change? Simply observing these things with interest is the first step to changing the habit. It might feel strange to watch your reactions closely. You may worry that by noticing them, they will get stronger. In fact, the opposite is often true. When you see reactions as they happen, you begin to understand them better. You see that anger, worry, or sadness are simply feelings. They come and go. They do not have to control your whole day. By noticing them, you can give yourself a little space before acting on them. This space gives you more freedom to choose what happens next. Instead of fighting the distraction or blaming yourself or others, you can simply say to yourself, "This is a reaction. It is normal. I do not have to follow it." By doing this, you may find that the tension in your body and mind starts to lighten, even if the distraction is still there. Some people notice that their reactions grow smaller over time as they practice this. Anger becomes curiosity, worry becomes understanding, frustration becomes patience. You may never get rid of reactions completely, but you can change the way you handle them. You can make your world feel bigger and softer, instead of smaller and full of stress. It also helps to talk with others about how distractions and reactions feel for you. Most people will understand. You may be surprised to discover how common these struggles are. When you share your experience, you may feel less alone, and you may find new ideas for handling distractions. There is no need to be ashamed or afraid. Every person has reactions to distractions, and it is part of being human. By observing yourself kindly, you may see that you do not have to punish yourself each time your attention slips. You do not need to control everything or make each moment perfect. You can learn to allow distractions and reactions to come and go. without getting caught up in them or letting them rule your life. One thing that can help is learning to pause when you notice a reaction. Pausing does not mean stopping everything or being still for a long time. It just means taking a slow breath, feeling your feet on the ground, and noticing what you feel. The pause gives you a moment to see your habit before it has time to grow stronger. In that pause, you can remind yourself that you are safe and that nothing is wrong with you for having a reaction. You may also want to notice what helps you feel calmer when distractions happen. Is there something you can do to take care of your body or your mind? Maybe you can stretch, take a sip of water, or look out the window. Telling yourself something gentle, like, "It is okay to feel this way," can also help shorten the length and strength of a reaction. Sometimes your reaction comes from old habits that began a long time ago. Maybe as a child you learned to hide your feelings or to be strict with yourself when you felt distracted. These habits can stay with you for many years. They feel automatic because they have been repeated so often. By seeing them clearly and gently questioning them, you may find new ways of reacting that are less painful. It is also possible to practice noticing the space between the distraction and your reaction. When you first hear a noise or feel a thought, there is a small moment where nothing has happened yet. In that small space, you have a choice. You can react in the old way, or you can try something new. You can let the distraction pass, or you can watch your feelings with interest. This space is always there, even if it feels very small at first. Each day, you will have many chances to watch your reactions. Some days you will find it easy, other days it will feel difficult. The important thing is not to be perfect, but simply to keep noticing. Each time you practice, you are teaching your mind and body to respond in a softer and more gentle way. When you stop fighting your reactions so hard, your days may begin to feel lighter. There may still be noise, busy thoughts, and strong feelings, but you will not feel so tired and tense from fighting inside yourself. You may feel kinder to others and more patient with yourself. Remember that you do not have to solve everything at once. Changing how you react to distractions takes time, just as any habit does. Every time you notice a reaction and pause before acting, you build a new path for yourself, one that leads to less pain and more peace. Over time, as you watch your responses instead of fighting them, you may discover that distractions have less power over you. The noises, messages, and thoughts do not go away, but your life becomes less controlled by them. You begin to understand that the real challenge is not the world or your mind, but the way you meet each moment as it happens. You also see that it is possible to live with distractions without feeling trapped by them. By changing your relationship with your reactions, you open the door to what comes next. A new way to meet the everyday world with its many sights, sounds, thoughts, and feelings. A way based on kindness and a gentle strength that grows each day you practice. A gentle strength begins to appear in life when you stop fighting your reactions and start watching them. This gentle strength is not loud. It is simply there, growing each time you see your feelings without running away or getting angry. When you meet distractions and reactions in a new way, you might wonder if anyone else has faced the same struggle. Have other people in history, living in different times, also searched for peace and clear attention in a world full of noise and change? Long before today's world, before cell phones, televisions, computers, and cars, people lived with a different kind of daily life. There were no social media, digital clocks, or bright lights everywhere. But still, people's minds were busy. Their thoughts, dreams, plans, and worries would race and tumble just as they do today. Even in a small village, a quiet room, or far from crowds, people felt distracted by their own thoughts, by the weather, by other people, or by their own wants and fears. Buddhist monks are one example of people who tried to understand distractions and the mind. For many centuries, in many countries across Asia, men and women became monks and nuns. They lived in simple buildings called temples or monasteries. They wore special robes. Their lives were quiet in many ways. Yet if you look closely at how they lived and what they taught, you will see that their main focus was not to have perfect silence. It was to study how the mind works and how to live with all the feelings, thoughts, and distractions that rise and fall inside every person. Monks did not have cell phones or email, but their minds still wandered. They experienced boredom, irritation, hunger, joy, loneliness, hope, and despair. The rules in monasteries were designed to help people notice how their own minds create distractions again and again. For example, monks woke up very early before the sun rose. They listened to the sounds of birds, wind, and rain. They washed, dressed, and prepared breakfast together, usually in silence. There would always be some sounds, a footstep, a bowl placed on a table, someone clearing their throat. Even in those quiet places, distractions appeared. Sometimes these were small, like a mosquito buzzing. Sometimes they were big, like a strong worry about family or life outside the monastery walls. Buddhist teachers asked, "What is happening inside you when a distraction comes?" They taught that everyone, monk or not, has an active mind. A bird might call from a tree, and suddenly your attention jumps from your breath to the bird. A friend moves nearby, and thoughts about past conversations or future plans rise up. Monks would sit and watch their own minds, sometimes for many hours, quietly noticing how quickly thoughts and feelings appear and disappear. In the old stories and books, there are many examples where a monk is sitting quietly, hoping to reach deep calm, and suddenly a strong thought enters his mind. Maybe he remembers something he forgot to do, or he worries about someone he loves. Maybe he becomes sleepy or excited for no reason at all. Monks learned that trying to force their mind to stay quiet only made the noisy thoughts grow stronger. Instead of pushing these thoughts away, Buddhist teachers guided monks to be gentle with their minds. They suggested watching each thought and feeling, without holding on or pushing away. Over hundreds of years, writers wrote about how everyone, rich or poor, young or old, man or woman, faces the challenge of a wandering mind. The world outside can be silent, and the mind inside can still be loud. They also noticed that distractions are not always bad. Sometimes a sound or a feeling can lead to an important understanding. Sometimes a memory can show you what you care about most. Buddhist teachers did not say you must never be distracted. They asked people to study how distractions come and go, to see what happens inside when your mind is pulled away. In these old teachings, there is the idea that suffering does not come from the world alone. It comes from not understanding how the mind works. The real challenge is not the noise itself. It is the way we grasp, reach, run, or push away everything that comes to us. The same lesson appears again and again. Every person, no matter the time or place, faces distractions. The details may be different, a car instead of a cart, a message instead of a spoken word, but the mind's habits are very old and very much the same as before. Some monks were especially aware of the mind's patterns. They described how, even in a place with no outside noise, their thoughts jumped from one thing to another. They called this the monkey mind because thoughts always moved quickly and with no clear reason. They noticed how easily attention could leave what was important and run towards something less important. The work was not to hate the mind for wandering, but to become more aware of what the mind was doing. Through this careful watching, monks began to see that thoughts, feelings, and distractions all come and go. Nothing stays forever. A sound disappears. A feeling passes. Even strong worries become weaker with time. The mind, left alone, will eventually quiet itself, if you let it. Instead of always fighting, monks learned to make friends with their minds, sitting with each distraction as it came, and then letting it move on when it was ready. Many stories in Buddhist books show teachers guiding others with patience. They might say, "Notice the sound, notice your reaction, watch your breath, let the feeling come and go." By repeating these simple practices, monks slowly learned that peace does not have to wait for the world to become perfect. Peace grows each time you meet the present moment without trying to change it. Buddhist monks also taught that distractions do not only mean mistakes. To be human is to have a busy mind. Even great teachers, after many years, sometimes spoke about being caught by thoughts or feelings. They told their students, "This is not wrong. This is just how the mind works." Some students felt ashamed for being distracted, but their teachers reminded them that every person's mind moves from one thing to another. The aim is not to keep the mind empty forever, but to gently return to the present each time it wanders. In the monasteries, people practice meditation as a way to watch their minds. Meditation does not mean stopping all thoughts. It means sitting or walking quietly, watching your breath, your body, and your thoughts as they rise and fall. Sometimes the mind is busy, sometimes it is calm. Monks learned not to judge themselves for the busy times and not to hold on too tightly to the calm times. They learned to trust that each mood would change again, given time. When something disturbed their quiet time, a knock at the door, an ache in the back, a worry about food, the goal was not to get rid of the distraction fast. It was to see, what is happening in my mind? By turning their attention to their own reaction, monks could learn about their own habits, about where stress and peace truly come from. It can be surprising to see that people who lived hundreds of years ago had the same challenges as people today. Students in a noisy classroom, workers in a crowded building, or parents with young children are facing the same fact of life as monks once did. The mind does not always want to stay in one place. From morning until night, attention shifts, runs, jumps, and pauses. This is true everywhere, for everyone. Monks also found that certain distractions were connected to feelings about other people. Sometimes, during group meals or work, someone might do something slowly or quickly, and the mind would react with impatience, pride, or annoyance. The challenge was not the noise or the action, but the feeling of wanting something to be different. When monks studied their own reactions, they found out how deeply habits of wanting and resisting were built inside. Old stories tell of monks who, while cleaning or cooking, would notice themselves becoming annoyed at the smallest noise or delay. Teachers would remind them to come back to their breath, to see the feeling, and not to let annoyance control their words or actions. This helped monks become more gentle, patient, and understanding with others. Monks also faced the difficulty of boredom. Sitting for a long period or doing simple tasks each day sometimes allowed the mind to hurry from one memory to another or create worries about the future. Instead of seeing boredom as a problem, Buddhist teachers encouraged their students to look closely at boredom itself. What does boredom feel like in the body? Where does it show up? Does it last forever? This soft curiosity helped monks see that every feeling has its own life. It visits, stays a while, and goes. Not every monk was successful at first. Many found themselves judging their distractions, feeling that they had failed whenever their mind became busy. Good teachers would tell them, even the wish to judge is just a thought. You can watch it and let it go. Each time attention wandered, monks were taught not to punish themselves, but to simply notice and come back to the present moment. Over the years, Buddhist teachers created many simple practices for working with distractions. These might involve breathing slowly, walking mindfully, or paying careful attention to everyday acts like eating or washing hands. Each act became a chance to notice what was happening inside. If attention wandered, there was no need to be hard on oneself. The mind could always return. Life in the monastery was far from perfect. Some days were noisy, others were quiet. Some days minds felt busy. On other days, minds felt calm. Monks did not expect to control every thought or feeling. They trusted that, with patience and love, their minds would settle in their own time. The wisdom gained by Buddhist monks spread to many parts of the world. Many people, not only monks, saw that their own minds behaved in much the same way. The struggle to pay attention, to handle worry, to live in peace, these are human challenges, not just monk problems. The lessons are for everyone, everywhere. In Buddhist teachings, it was not important to make all distractions go away. The main lesson was to notice how the mind reacts and to relax the body and mind, even when distractions are present. This brought a kind of steady, quiet energy, like the gentle strength that grows when you stop fighting yourself. This energy allowed monks and anyone else to live daily life without feeling lost in noise or ruled by worry. Monks showed again and again that distractions do not mean failure. Being human is enough. When you accept every part of experience, even the noisy ones, you make space for calm to return by itself. You do not lose anything by being kind to your mind. Modern people can learn a lot from these old lessons. Instead of believing that peace is possible only in perfect places with perfect silence, anyone can begin to watch their mind today. On a busy street, in a noisy home, on a quiet walk, or alone at a desk, the mind is always moving. By being gentle and curious, you will find that peace is less about where you are and more about how you meet the world, one moment at a time. Over time, the more you practice this way of living, the more you notice that the world's noise changes but the mind's reactions follow old patterns. There is no need to fight each distraction or force yourself to stay focused all the time. The same tools that monks used, watching, breathing, letting go, are available to every person. It becomes clear that distractions, far from being a mistake, are signs of being alive. They invite you to notice your own mind, to treat yourself with patience, and to return gently to the present when your thoughts stray. You begin to find your own way of working with the world as it is, not as you wish it to be. What old monks discovered is that nobody, today or hundreds of years ago, can make noise, thoughts, and feelings go away forever. But every person can meet their own mind with kindness, curiosity, and simple awareness. In this way, everyone has the chance to touch the quiet place inside, no matter how noisy the world may be. When you see that nobody can make distractions disappear forever and that every mind is sometimes busy, a new question comes. If distractions and thoughts are always there, why do they seem to cause so much suffering? Why do they hurt or bring stress, even when they are just small sounds, simple messages, or passing feelings? This pain often begins with a deep wish to control life and mind. Many people want to control not just their surroundings, but their thoughts, feelings, and every little part of their day. This need for control feels strong inside. People want peace and quiet, so they believe that only by being in control at every moment can they feel calm, happy, or safe. This belief leads to a kind of attachment. Attachment means holding on tightly to an idea or a desire. In this case, it means believing that you must have perfect silence, a still mind, and a world without interruptions to feel okay inside. Buddhist teachings talk about this attachment to control. For hundreds of years, monks, teachers, and regular people have asked themselves why suffering grows when you want things to be different from how they are. In simple words, the more you wish for life and mind to be just as you want, the more upset you feel when things turn out differently. You may think, if only people would be quiet, I could study. If only my mind would stop wandering, I could work better. If only my child would listen, I would not feel angry. If only there were no traffic, I would be peaceful. These thoughts are very common and show a mind that wants control. They also show a mind that is attached to certain hopes. Each time life does not match these hopes, disappointment and pain can appear. This strong wish for control makes ordinary moments seem full of struggle. When noise appears, you think it should not be there. When the mind feels jumpy or thoughts come fast, you might believe you are failing. This feeling of should becomes heavy. If you look at your words and feelings, you may notice how often the word should or must shows up. People should not be loud. I must be calm. Work must be done perfectly. Children should always listen. I should not feel this way. Each should is a sign of attachment to control. When you believe that you must control everything, two kinds of suffering begin. The first kind comes from the outside world. Noisy places, busy people, and random events will almost never match your hope for perfect order. The second kind comes from inside. When your mind becomes busy or your feelings change, You believe this is a mistake or a problem. This makes the mind fight against itself, building more tension every day. Trying to control everything is very tiring. You might plan every part of your day, but something unexpected always happens. You might try to watch every feeling or thought, but the mind moves in its own way. When you cannot keep things the way you wish, you may feel sadness, anger, or shame. You might become strict with yourself or with others, hoping this will give you the calm you want. It almost never works. Some people react by making more rules for themselves or those around them. They create schedules, lists, or systems for keeping life in order. Others become angry at family, friends, or co-workers when things go wrong or change suddenly. The more rules you make, the more chances there are to feel pain when things break those rules. You may have noticed in your own life how tight this need for control can feel. Perhaps you want your room to be silent, but a neighbor makes noise. You want your thoughts to be quiet, but memories come again and again. You want your body to feel relaxed, but tension or tiredness arrives. Each time you try to force things to go your way and fail, disappointment and frustration grow. This pain shows how deep the attachment is. Sometimes, people do not notice their attachment at first. It may feel normal to want things a certain way. Parents want children to behave. Students want to remember everything they learn. Workers want projects to be perfect. People hope their plans will happen as they wish. This desire for control is everywhere. It touches how you wake up, how you talk, and how you think throughout the day. Over time, when things go differently from your plan, old patterns start. Maybe you blame others. I cannot focus because people keep talking. Maybe you blame yourself. I am not strong enough to keep my mind still. Sometimes you blame life itself. Things never go right for me. Each blame is a sign of attachment to how things should be. When you look closely, you might discover that this wish to control is often a wish to escape discomfort. The mind wants silence because it does not like noise. The heart wants calm because it does not like worry or fear. People wish for things to be just right, so they do not have to feel certain feelings or face uncertainty. But life is always changing. Silence is never perfect. The mind and heart will never stay in one mood forever. This deep desire creates a cycle. You want control, but life surprises you. You react with stress or anger. You try harder to control things. Each try brings more pain, because control slips away again and again. It is like walking in a circle that makes you tired, but does not bring comfort. Buddhist teachers notice that lasting suffering comes from attachment, not from noise, not from thoughts, and not from the busy world outside. Suffering grows each time you hold tightly to how you wish things to be, instead of meeting life as it is. In their teachings, monks shared that letting go of attachment brings relief. This does not mean giving up on your needs or letting everything be chaos. It means seeing that trying to control what cannot be controlled brings more suffering. You can plan, prepare, and guide, but you cannot make every part of life match your ideas. Letting go of attachment begins with noticing it. Each time you feel tense or upset, you can pause and ask, what am I wanting right now that is not happening? You may discover small hopes that are causing your pain. Maybe you want peace and get noise. Maybe you want a quiet mind and get racing thoughts. Maybe you want kindness and get someone's anger or impatience. Just seeing these hopes is the first step in working with attachment. After you see the wish for control, you may gently say to yourself, it is okay to hope for comfort, but I do not have to make it happen in every moment. This simple kindness starts to loosen the tightness of attachment. Instead of fighting reality, you begin to soften and accept that some things cannot be controlled. Sometimes you may think that letting go means you will have no goals or dreams. This is not true. Letting go of attachment is not the same as giving up. You can still care about your work, your comfort, and your dreams. You can still make plans and hope for good things. The difference is that you do not tie your happiness to one outcome. If the plan changes, if things feel noisy, if you lose focus, you remind yourself that it is normal. You trust that life will move on, and you can return to what matters again and again. Letting go can bring a sense of freedom. Life feels less heavy when every small change is not a problem. If a distraction comes, you see it, watch your reaction, and let yourself come back to the present. If a plan changes, you accept the change and look for the next step. You find that your mind and body relax, little by little, when you let go of needing to control everything. In the teachings of Buddhist monks, there are many simple ways to practice letting go of attachment. One way is to practice noticing thoughts for what they are, just thoughts. When a thought about control comes, you can say gently, "This is only a thought, not a rule for life." If you notice yourself feeling anger because something changed, you can say, "This is just a feeling. It will pass." By watching without grabbing or fighting, you give space for calm to return. Another way is to remember that everyone has wants, hopes, and ideas for how life should be. No person is free from disappointment. No life is free from changes, noise, or interruptions. When you see that you are not alone in this, your heart becomes softer toward yourself and others. Many people find it useful to pause and breathe slowly when they feel the pressure of attachment. Each slow breath is a chance to notice your body and mind in the present. If tension is strong, breathing helps calm it. If a wish for control rises, breathing is a chance to watch it gently, without needing to fix or change anything right away. Sometimes the tight hold of attachment feels very old. It may come from childhood, from moments when you felt unsafe, unwanted, or judged. The mind learns to protect itself by hoping for control. As you grow older, this habit can follow you. By seeing it now, with patience and gentleness, you give yourself the gift of a new way forward. Letting go also helps in relationships with others. When you stop needing people to behave a certain way, you have more patience and kindness for their moods and choices. When you stop needing the world to be perfect, you find more joy in small surprises and changes. You see that life is good, even when it is not quiet, or as you planned. If you notice that you blame yourself often, you might look for places where you have been hard on your own mind, saying, "I should not be distracted," or "I must always finish everything on time," makes each mistake or interruption feel heavy. Instead, you can say, "It is normal to be distracted. It is human to make mistakes." You meet yourself as you are, without anger or judgment. Letting go can also mean forgiving the world when it makes noise, changes your plans, or pulls your attention away. Instead of reacting with anger each time something goes differently from your wish, take a slow breath and remember that the world is always moving and changing. No sound, feeling, or thought stays forever. Over time, you find that the less you hold on to your need for control, the lighter your days become. Instead of pushing against life, you move alongside it. If you make a plan, you do your best, but you do not feel crushed if things change. If you want quiet, you enjoy it when it comes and relax when it leaves. If you wish for focus and feel distracted, you gently bring your mind back, knowing that focus comes and goes for everyone. Sometimes it helps to notice the small moments when you are able to let go. Maybe you laugh when someone interrupts, or you stay calm when plans change. Remembering these moments strengthens your trust in your own gentle strength. This new way of seeing life does not mean you allow everything or do not take care of what matters. You still work, rest, plan, and care for people, but you do these things with less tightness, less need to push, and less fear of mistakes. You remember, suffering grows from holding on too tightly, not from noise or distraction itself. When you remember that everyone struggles with attachment and control, you find more respect and understanding for other people. You see how parents, friends, teachers, workers, and children all want life to go smoothly. You also see how pain grows for everyone when things are not as they hope. Every small act of letting go is a step toward more freedom and less stress. By watching your mind and heart each day, you see where you are holding tight and where you can relax. The more you practice, the more you notice that life is not only about getting everything just right, it is also about meeting each moment as it is, returning to what matters and finding peace inside you no matter what is happening outside. It is possible to move and act in the world, to set goals and to pay attention without being trapped by the need for perfect control. Letting go brings you home to the present and helps you see distractions as signs of being alive, not as mistakes you must fix. This gentle freedom is always waiting each time you notice your attachment and choose to soften rather than fight. Letting go of the need for perfect control opens the door to a new way of meeting distractions. If you no longer try to force silence or perfect focus, you can start to notice what is really happening in each moment. This noticing, done with calm and kindness, is often called mindfulness. Mindfulness means being aware of what is happening right now, both outside you and inside you, without trying to change it right away. When you are mindful, you pay attention to what your senses are telling you. You notice the sounds in the room or outside your window. You feel the air on your skin. You see the colors or light around you. You taste the food in your mouth. You notice your breath as it moves in and out. You also notice the thoughts in your mind and the feelings in your body. All of these things are part of the present moment. You learn to watch them just as they are, without judging them as good or bad, or trying to push them away. Many people spend much of their time lost in thoughts about the future or the past. They worry about what will come next, or remember what has already happened. This makes the mind busy and scattered. Sometimes the body is doing one thing, like washing dishes, sitting in a chair, or walking, while the mind is far away. Mindfulness gently brings your attention back to this moment so you can truly see, hear, feel, and taste what is happening now. Being mindful does not mean your mind will never wander. It does not mean you will not notice noises or have feelings. It simply means that when these things happen, you are aware of them. You see them clearly, like a cloud moving in the sky. You do not run after the distraction or fight with it. You let it be, and you notice what happens in your body and mind when it appears. For example, if a sudden sound happens while you are reading, mindfulness lets you notice the sound. You hear it. You watch the reaction in your body. Maybe your shoulders tense or your heart beats faster. You do not need to say, "This sound is bad and must stop," or "I am weak for being distracted." You simply notice, a sound appeared. My body felt something. Now the sound is gone. If a thought comes, you can notice it the same way. A thought about work appeared. My mind followed it for a moment. Now I come back. This kind of gentle noticing is different from the way many people treat distractions. Usually the first reaction is to judge. Maybe you tell yourself, "I need to stop being distracted," or "I am not good enough to focus." Or you judge the world. "Why can the house not be quiet?" These judgments make the mind tense and close. Mindfulness opens the mind, letting you explore what is here, without extra blame or hard words. Mindfulness can be practiced anywhere, by anyone. You do not have to be in a special place or position. You can try it while eating, walking, talking, or sitting still. You start by paying attention to what is happening through your senses and inside your mind. If your attention moves, you simply bring it back again and again. Sometimes you may notice simple things, like the feeling of your feet on the ground or how your hands feel. You can notice the taste of your drink, the temperature of the air, or the smell of food. Noticing these details helps bring your mind to this moment. You may find that life feels fuller and more real when you pay attention this way. When a distraction comes, mindfulness helps you respond slowly and softly. Instead of pushing the distraction away or getting upset, you pause. You say to yourself, "This is a sound," or "This is a thought." You notice how it feels in your body. Maybe your shoulders lift or your breath stops. When you watch these reactions, you do not have to be controlled by them. If you want to start practicing mindfulness with distractions, you can try very simple steps. Each day, choose one moment to pay closer attention. You might start when you sit down for breakfast. Notice the food, notice your body, and notice your breath. If you hear other people talking or a car outside, just observe. Do not tell a story about the sound or blame anyone. Notice what happens and come back to your own body and breath. If your mind brings up a worry, see if you can watch the worry without judgment. Think to yourself, this is a worry. Notice if your body becomes tight or your breathing changes. Allow the feeling to be there. Keep watching it. When you notice the worry becoming smaller, come back to what you are doing. When practicing mindfulness, it is common for the mind to wander again and again. This is not a problem. Each time you notice that your mind has moved away, celebrate that you noticed. Gently bring your attention back to the present. This is the heart of mindfulness. Not to stay perfectly focused, but to notice when attention moves and to come back with kindness. Over time, you may notice that distractions do not feel as strong or as painful. When you stop fighting with every sound or thought, your body does not become as tense and your mind does not become as tired. You find there is space around every distraction, a little peaceful place that is always present, no matter what happens. Mindfulness is also helpful when emotions are strong. If you become angry because someone was rude, you can use mindfulness to notice how anger feels in the body. Maybe your stomach becomes tight. Maybe your jaw clenches. You can say to yourself, anger is here. Instead of acting quickly or saying something harsh, you pause. You watch anger as just another visitor coming and going. If sadness or loneliness appears, mindfulness means you notice where these feelings are in your body. You name them quietly. Sadness is here. You let yourself feel it, but you do not have to follow every thought that sadness brings. You do not have to believe everything your mind says. Simply watch the feeling, watch it rise and fall, and know it will not last forever. Some people misunderstand mindfulness. They think it means always feeling calm or never having strong emotions. Mindfulness does not mean escaping feelings. It means being alive to everything that comes, gentle with yourself when things are hard, and patient when focus is difficult. You can also use mindfulness when you are busy with work or study. When you feel your mind start to rush, notice it. When you feel your body becoming tense, notice it. If you hear a noise or someone interrupts, notice your reaction. Each day, even a few minutes of this gentle noticing can help your mind become clearer. Practicing mindfulness does not solve every problem. It does not make the world quiet or make every feeling pleasant. It does not remove all obstacles. Instead, it gives you a new way to meet each moment, so you do not become lost in anger, worry, pain, or blame. You become less tangled with every distraction. You find that you can relax, even for just a few breaths, and see the present moment clearly. There are many small ways to bring mindfulness into your day. You can take one slow breath before you answer the phone. You can feel your feet on the floor before you start a conversation. You can notice one detail in your room, like the way the light looks or the sound of the air. These tiny moments help you come back to now. If you forget to be mindful, this is normal. Minds wander, habits return. When you remember, that is the moment to start again. Each time you return, you build a gentle strength inside. This strength does not push or fight. It watches patiently and helps you move through everyday's distractions. Sometimes it helps to talk gently to yourself as you practice. You can say simple words like, "Here I am," or "This is a breath," or "A sound is just a sound." These reminders keep you living in the present, reducing the pressure to control or run away from what you feel and hear. When other people are present, mindfulness can help you listen truly. Instead of planning your next words or moving in your own thoughts, you practice hearing what is said. You notice your own reactions, but you let them pass. This kind of mindful listening makes conversations deeper and less stressful. Mindfulness is also very gentle with mistakes. Everyone forgets, becomes lost in thought, or acts on impulse sometimes. When it happens, you do not need anger or harshness. Bring your attention back softly. Notice that you are human and learning, and that this is enough. If you find moments of peace as you practice mindfulness, enjoy them. Notice what peace feels like. Notice if your breathing slows, your body relaxes, or your thoughts become lighter. Let yourself rest here, even if only for a little while. When the next distraction comes, meet it with the same calm noticing. Some people use mindfulness practices like slow walking, eating carefully, or watching the breath while sitting. These are simple exercises. You can try walking and noticing each step, or eating and tasting every bite, or watching your breath come in and out. These are not special tricks. They are ways to remind yourself of the present again and again. As you become more familiar with mindfulness, you may notice life feeling more spacious. Distractions still happen, thoughts still come, but there is more room inside you. You do not have to follow or fight with every noise or feeling. You know that each moment is new, and you can meet it as it is. If you are ever unsure if you are being mindful, you can pause and ask, what is here right now? Notice what you feel, what you see, what you hear. Notice the taste in your mouth, the feeling of your clothing, the beating of your heart, the sound of the world around you. This simple question brings you back to now. Remember that mindfulness is not about doing everything slowly or perfectly. You can be mindful in busy times, happy times, sad times, and even in times when you forget. It is always possible to notice what is happening, return to the present, and give yourself a little kindness with each breath. By meeting distractions and feelings with gentle awareness, you discover that fighting is not needed. Control is not needed. You can trust in your own ability to watch, to notice, and to return again and again. These simple steps are enough. Each day, this practice grows a little stronger, and life becomes softer, even in a noisy and busy world. Little by little, your mind becomes less quick to judge, and your body relaxes. You may find that relationships feel easier and that work or study becomes calmer. You become less tired by the ups and downs of attention and more ready to return to what matters. If you ever feel doubt or lose your way with mindfulness, remember that every person in every part of life can practice it. The only thing needed is a wish to notice, to return, and to be gentle with yourself. Mindfulness does not need quiet rooms, special seats, or special clothes. It needs only a little attention right now to what is here. Distractions will continue to appear just as the world keeps moving, but your ability to notice, to return, and to let things be will support you. Each moment of mindfulness builds a small space inside. In that space, you find calm, acceptance, and a gentle trust that, no matter what happens, you are able to meet this life as it unfolds. As you continue to meet each moment with gentle awareness and return to now, you start to notice something different about how distractions feel. The world is still full of noise, new messages, people moving, and thoughts in your mind. These things have not gone away. But there is a change in how your attention moves. Your mind does not jump as quickly from one thing to another. You do not feel as upset or tired when sounds, thoughts, or feelings try to pull you away. This change does not happen all at once. It grows slowly with each act of noticing and returning. Your relationship with distractions becomes softer, calmer, and less stressful than before. Many people believe that when distractions appear, they must act right away. They feel they need to push the distraction out or to solve it as quickly as possible. This habit often comes from old patterns. Maybe you have always believed you need to fix every problem or control every sound. Perhaps you judge yourself when you lose focus or feel disappointed when your environment is not perfect. These habits build over years. And at first, it is easy to react with the same old feelings. Now, with simple mindfulness, you start to see another way. When you allow yourself to just notice the distraction without pushing it away and without judging yourself or others, the distraction changes. It is still there, but it loses its strong power over you. Your mind does not grab it so tightly. Your feelings are lighter and your body can relax more easily. Imagine you are working, reading, or talking to a friend. Suddenly, you hear a sound or think a new thought. With your old habits, you might tense up, feel angry, blame yourself or others, or lose track completely. With your new practice, you pause for a moment. You become aware. You say to yourself, a thought is here. A sound is here. You let your attention touch the distraction softly, allowing it to be just what it is. Your body may still have a reaction. Your mind may still wander, but you do not fight or hold on. Instead, you become an observer, gently watching everything that comes and goes. Each time you notice a distraction and return calmly, you teach your mind that it is safe and normal for attention to move. You do not have to control every moment. This gentle approach creates more space inside. Space makes feelings and sounds feel softer, less sharp, and less urgent. With practice, you discover that distractions come and go by themselves. You notice that no thought, sound, or feeling lasts forever. Sometimes a loud noise feels strong right now, but in 5 minutes it is already forgotten. Sometimes an idea pulls your mind away, but it fades naturally when you do not give it too much energy. As you continue this noticing, your mind relaxes a little more each day. Some days, your attention will still be pulled quickly and often. This is normal. You may have little sleep, feel stress, or face new situations. Your body and mind move in and out of busy states. Your practice is not about never feeling distracted, but about seeing what is here and letting it be, again and again. On these busy days, it is even more important to speak to yourself kindly and to return with patience. It can help to remember that every time you notice and soften around a distraction, you build a new habit. These habits are small at first. Maybe you pause for a breath when you hear a dog barking, or you smile at yourself when your mind races ahead. Each gentle return is a step toward a quieter mind, not because the world is different, but because you are relating to it in a new way. You may notice, for example, that a sound which once made you angry or tense now feels less important. You hear it, you pause, you feel the reaction, then you move on. Or perhaps your mind brings up a sudden worry. Instead of believing every thought, you watch the worry come and go, choosing not to follow it. Sometimes you laugh at how quickly feelings appear and disappear. Other times, you notice you still get caught by distractions. Maybe there is a day when you are tired or something is bothering you, and old reactions return. The mind jumps, you feel upset, and you forget to pause. When this happens, do not blame yourself. Take a moment to notice, I was distracted and caught, and that is okay. Bring awareness back to now, just as you did before. Each return is part of the practice. Letting go of fighting distractions also changes your body. Your breath may become slower, your muscles soften, and your hands or face do not tense up as much. You may feel more comfortable sitting, standing, or moving, even when life is busy. Body and mind work together. When one becomes calm, the other often follows. Friends, family members, or co-workers may even notice a difference in you. They may say you seem more relaxed, easier to talk to, or more able to listen. This is because your attention is not always struggling against the world or against your own mind. You feel more open to each moment and are able to focus more easily when needed. If you ever feel unsure that this practice is helping, pay attention to small details. Notice if your day feels less heavy. Notice if it is easier to bring your mind back to your work, your family, or your meal. Notice if you are able to enjoy small things a little more, or if you smile at yourself when you make a mistake. These are gentle signs your relationship with distractions is changing. You may find that, with this new attitude, you can do more things with less stress. Work, household chores, learning, or even social events feel less exhausting. You know there will be distractions, and you no longer spend so much energy fighting them. Instead, you meet them, notice them, and let them move on when they are ready. There are small steps you can use to keep growing this new way of relating to distractions. First, always allow yourself to pause. When a distraction appears, give yourself a small moment before you react. Pause, breathe, and notice what is happening. Second, name what you notice. If there is a sound, say gently, sound. If there is a worry, say worry. If your mind jumps to another thought, simply notice thinking. Naming things helps your mind not become lost in stories or old reactions. Third, bring attention back to your body or breath. Feel your feet on the floor, your breath in your chest, your hands touching something. These simple details bring you into the present and remind you that you are safe right now. Fourth, forgive yourself each time your mind is caught by a distraction or an old reaction. You do not need to be perfect. Each time you return, you build a gentle habit of kindness. Fifth, notice the space around every distraction. There is always a space before your reaction and after a sound or thought leaves. With practice, you notice that this space grows larger and more peaceful. Over days and weeks, these simple steps change how you move through life. You become less bothered when things do not go as planned. You feel more flexible when your day changes, or when people ask for your attention. You are able to enjoy moments of quiet, and also to accept moments of noise or activity. It is all part of life. As this new relationship forms, some surprising things may happen. Sometimes you find that a distraction brings something new. A sound you did not notice before is interesting, or a feeling helps you understand yourself better. When you do not fight every distraction, your mind is more open to the world, and you may find beauty and meaning even in small interruptions. You may also notice that creativity appears in these moments. An idea can rise when your mind relaxes. A feeling of closeness or humor may come when you stop taking every distraction so seriously. Life feels richer, with more colors and notes when you meet it as it is. If you ever begin to wonder if it is okay to let distractions simply be, remember that every person has a busy mind at times. Minds have always wandered, and there is nothing wrong with you for having thoughts, feelings, or reactions. This practice is not about removing the world, but about changing the way you respond inside. It helps to remind yourself each day that being distracted is normal and that every act of gentle returning is enough. There is no final goal or perfect state. Each moment is new. As you practice, distractions become less heavy and your attention becomes more stable with less energy lost in the fight. You can also share your new way with others. Maybe you talk to a friend or family member about letting distractions come and go. Maybe you show patience to someone else when their attention wanders. These small acts help everyone feel less alone in the world of noise and help build a gentler environment for all. If you work, learn, or spend time in places that are very active, you may notice it is still hard to relax. That is normal too. Life is busy, and some periods will be louder or more chaotic than others. Even here, you can meet each sound, thought, or feeling with gentle awareness and come back to the present. Your calm presence may even help others find their own quiet. Sometimes, when days are calm, you can enjoy the feeling of less distraction. Other times, when life is full, you return to the simple steps. Pause, notice, name, return. Trust that each little act supports your mind. You do not have to measure the results or judge your progress. All that is needed is to keep meeting distractions with a soft and open heart. Old stress and habits about fighting noise may try to appear again. When they do, meet them the same way, as visitors that rise and fall. With openness, patience, and kindness, your mind learns it does not have to be controlled or afraid all the time. Your experience of life becomes softer. Your mind feels stronger and lighter each day. You may even notice, after many days, that some things which used to upset you are now just part of life. You feel less separated from your own mind and more able to enjoy the world. You know that focus and calm are not always perfect, and you learn to move with what happens. Each moment is another chance to notice, accept, and return. Your relationship with distractions will continue to evolve. Sometimes it will feel easy, sometimes it will feel hard. With each breath, each pause, each gentle smile toward yourself, you make your life a little more peaceful and light. No matter how noisy or busy the world, you have learned to meet it with a kind and steady heart. Allow yourself to celebrate how far you have come. Each small act of noticing, of not fighting, and of returning again is a step toward living with more calm. Attention becomes a gentle friend, not a thing you must force or catch. As days and weeks go by, your life feels more open, your heart feels softer, and distractions lose their sharp edge. This is how the mind grows more steady and how you find more comfort in the middle of a moving, changing world. Your life becomes more open and softer with each gentle return to the present moment. You begin to sense a quiet space inside you, even as the world moves quickly and distractions keep coming. This space is not loud. It does not force itself into your attention. But with practice, you start to notice it. It is a feeling of calm that does not depend on silence outside or on everything going the way you want. This quiet space is part of you. It is always there, even if you sometimes forget it. Many people spend their days hoping that when work ends, or when problems disappear, or when a special time comes, peace will arrive in their lives. Sometimes they believe that if they solve every problem or keep everyone happy, only then will they feel relaxed or free. But peace that depends on everything outside being perfect is hard to reach. No day is ever totally quiet or free from little challenges. Plans change, thoughts come, and life surprises you again and again. As you let yourself notice what is happening right now without forcing things, you begin to discover that peace is not tied to outside events. You can be sitting in a noisy room and still feel quiet inside for a moment. You can be busy with work or family and still sense a calmness, even if only for a breath or two. This is the inner peace that mindful noticing allows. It is always with you, hidden by hurry and worry, but waiting to be seen again every time you remember to come back to the present. Finding this peace inside is not about escaping from the world or ignoring your work, family, or other needs. It is about relaxing the tight grip you may have on how every moment should be. You notice your own wish for control, your own habits of worry, and your own desire for things to go smoothly. When you gently see these things without judging yourself, your mind and body begin to relax. The struggle softens, and there is more space to breathe, think, and feel. Sometimes peace comes when you are doing a simple thing, like taking a slow breath, washing your hands, or watching the sun in the sky. Other times you might feel it when you sit with a friend, listen to music, or walk outside. You do not have to force the quiet to come. Your job is only to notice what is happening now, to accept it, and to let go of the urge to make things perfect. In this gentle acceptance, inner peace becomes clear again. You might have days when your mind feels loud or your body feels tense, and it seems that peace is far away. On these days, you can remind yourself that the quiet space inside has not disappeared. It is only hidden under noise and tension for a while. The way to find it again is to return, one breath at a time, one gentle noticing at a time. You do not need to hurry. The present moment is always here, waiting for you to come back. There are many small ways to find the quiet space inside you during a busy or loud day. You can pause and feel your feet on the floor. You can notice the way your breath moves in and out. You can listen to the sounds around you without trying to judge or name them. You can sense the air on your skin or look for a color in the room. Even the act of listening to your own heartbeat or feeling your hands can help. Sometimes you may feel sadness, fear, or anger. These feelings can seem like walls that block peace. But even in the middle of strong feelings, you can find a small place of calm by noticing the feeling gently. Name it. This is sadness, this is anger, this is fear. Notice if your breath changes or if your body feels different. Give space to the feeling. Let it be there. The quiet space grows each time you let go of the need to fight or run from difficult emotions. If you feel lonely or lost, you can use the same practice. Notice who is around you or what you can hear, even if you are alone in a room. Notice that you are here, breathing, feeling, and thinking. Each return to this simple noticing is a return to the peaceful part of yourself that is always present. You do not need to meditate for many hours or be perfect at focusing to find this quiet inside. You only need short moments of letting go and returning. You might find it helpful to create small routines you can use every day. For example, you might close your eyes for a few seconds when you wake up or take a slow breath before starting a meal. When you pause before answering your phone or when you sit down to rest your body, these are good times to notice your own inner peace. Daily life can still have stress, hard work, and moments of feeling overwhelmed. You may be busy with chores, children, a job, or worries about the future. These things will continue, but your way of moving through them changes. You become less controlled by every small problem. You give yourself space to recover when things go wrong. You remember that you do not need to win every battle or have all the answers right away. Each time you let go, each time you pause and bring awareness to your experience, you touch the quiet space inside again. You may also notice that as you find more peace inside, your relationship with other people becomes easier. When a friend, child, or coworker loses patience or makes a mistake, you do not need to react quickly or harshly. You can pause, listen, and let the moment pass. Your words become softer and your kindness grows. Others may even sense your calm and begin to feel a little more relaxed themselves. Sometimes you will not be able to find peace quickly. Perhaps you are in a place that is very loud, or the day has many meetings, problems, or surprises. On these days, try to find just one small moment for yourself. Maybe it is a slow breath between tasks, or a moment outside in the sun or shade. Allow this short space to remind you that peace is always possible, even in very small pieces. You also may face old habits that seem to disappear, but now return. Anger, frustration, or worry can show up when you are tired or stressed. This is normal. Do not judge yourself. Notice the old habit, breathe, and come back to now. Each gentle return makes the peaceful space inside stronger and more steady. As you feel more comfortable with inner peace, you can begin to enjoy the world again in new ways. Food tastes richer, music feels deeper, and time with others becomes more precious. Simple moments, like watching the sky or feeling the warmth of a cup in your hand, become a source of calm and happiness. These are not accidents. They grow from your practice of letting go and returning to what is real and simple. Some people find it helpful to use reminders, a gentle bell, a note near the door, or a word they say to themselves like now or here. Others write about moments of peace in a notebook or talk with friends about what has helped them feel calm. These reminders can guide you back to the simple power of noticing and letting go again and again. You might notice after some days or weeks that the world's noise seems less noisy. The same distractions and the same problems are there, but they do not control you. You are less bothered when plans change or when things do not go your way. Quiet grows inside you, standing strong even in the middle of busy days or crowded rooms. If you have trouble finding this inner peace, be patient. Sometimes it feels far away because your mind is tired or your heart is heavy. When this happens, do not give up. Try to notice one gentle thing, a soft feeling, a bit of light, the sound of your own breath. Rest there as long as you can. If you lose it, come back when you are ready. The peaceful space inside is always ready for your return. Your practice will help you see that you are not alone in your search for peace. Everyone, in every country and every life, wants to feel calm and steady. Many people do not know that this peace is found not outside, but inside themselves. The world teaches us to chase quiet and control, but with awareness and acceptance, you discover calm grows in the middle of life, not far away from it. It helps to share this way of living with others. You may talk to someone you trust about how you are practicing acceptance or mindful returning. You may listen gently when a friend or family member talks about feeling lost or distracted. When you do this, you remind yourself and others that peace is possible for everyone, no matter what their life looks like. You do not need to give up on dreams or stop caring about your work, your loved ones, or your future. In fact, you may find that the more you rest in inner peace, the more energy you have for caring, loving, and doing what matters. You begin to feel strong and soft at the same time. You know that you cannot control every moment, but you trust that you can return again and again to the quiet place within you. Your practice can be very simple: a quiet breath, a slow walk, a moment of listening. Each act of mindful acceptance adds to your sense of peace and helps your days feel lighter and more meaningful. There is freedom in knowing that the world does not have to be perfect for you to feel steady inside. You also do not need to be perfect. Your thoughts can wander, your days can be busy or quiet, your feelings can change. Through everything, the peaceful space inside waits for you. It is untouched by noise, by plans, or by the rush of the world outside. Practice returning over and over to this peaceful place. If you forget, if you fall into old habits, forgive yourself. Begin again. Each new breath is a doorway to quiet and calm. Over months and years, this gentle presence becomes your home. It supports you through work, change, joy, and pain. Let life come as it is, noisy, busy, surprising, or still. Let each moment touch you, and let each breath remind you of the calm that is always yours. You are not searching for something that must be built or bought. You are coming back to something that is already inside you. This calm, simple peace supports every part of your life. It helps you rest, work, learn, and care for others. It helps you move through sorrow and celebrate joy. The more you practice, the stronger it becomes. Distractions and challenges may continue, but your peaceful heart is always with you, shining underneath it all. This steady peace inside you becomes a gentle support for everything you do. Even when daily life brings noise, work, or busy moments, the sense of calm stays with you. With practice, you carry this feeling from one part of your life to another. You do not have to be alone or stop caring about your responsibilities to feel peace. Instead, you learn to work, rest, and connect with others while holding this simple, quiet place inside. Many people believe that in order to focus or do things well, they must be strict with themselves. If they get distracted, they become upset or feel guilty. If they lose attention for one moment, they say harsh words to themselves in their minds. Some try to force their minds to concentrate by using pressure, rules, or anger. These ways might bring results for a very short time, but after a while, the mind grows tired and the body feels tense. Focusing becomes another reason for stress, not a reason for joy. With gentle practice, you discover that guiding your attention does not need to be harsh. You do not have to bring yourself back with blame or strictness. You can return to what matters in a friendly, relaxed way. This is called gentle focus. It means coming back to the present softly, without punishment, fear, or rushing. Each return becomes an act of kindness to yourself. Gentle focus begins with simple noticing. When you are reading but your thoughts wander, notice that you are distracted. Take a quiet breath and guide your attention back to your book. Do not tell yourself that you have failed. Do not count how many times your mind has moved. Every time you come back, you make the path stronger for yourself. You are building a new way of being with your own mind. Sometimes, you may be having a conversation and your mind drifts away to another topic or worry. When you notice this, pause and listen again. Bring your attention back to the other person. Be friendly with yourself. Minds wander. This is how the mind works. Each gentle return helps you connect better. If you are doing work or study, try to keep your body relaxed. Notice how your hands and arms feel. Try to sit in a comfortable way. If you feel your jaw or shoulders tighten, let them loosen. When the mind jumps to another topic, treat yourself as you would treat a friend. Encourage yourself with patience. Tell yourself, "I am coming back now," as softly as you can. For some people, keeping focus feels hard. Some days are filled with strong emotions, or you may feel extra tired or worried. On these days, forcing yourself to pay attention only increases the stress. What helps is to accept that your mind feels busy and still gently invite it back when you notice it has wandered. You may do this 100 times or even more. That is fine. Each time you return, you add to your practice of gentle focus. When you bring your attention back with kindness, you will begin to feel calmer and less anxious. Gentle focus does not mean you never lose your place. It means you stop turning distractions into reasons for self-criticism. If you celebrate each return, even with a small smile or a breath, you create a positive feeling around focus. You can use gentle focus anywhere, in a noisy room, at your desk, while playing a game, or even while resting. The world does not need to be silent for you to practice. What matters is that you do not let your mistakes or distractions control how you feel about yourself. You become your own friend each time your attention strays. Some days, you may find it helpful to set small reminders. You might use a gentle sound, a picture, or a word to remind you to return your attention. These reminders can be quiet and private. For example, some people touch their thumb and finger together to come back to the present. Others glance at a favorite image or gently repeat a simple word in their head, such as here or now. These little cues wake up soft awareness. If you are with someone else, gentle focus means being present to them, even if your mind wanders for a few seconds. If you notice your thoughts drifting, take a breath and listen fully again. Other people notice when you are fully with them. This makes relationships stronger and conversations more meaningful. There are times when the mind is very busy and refuses to settle down no matter how often you return. At these times, do not add more pressure. If you cannot stay focused for long, let it be. Step outside, move your body, find a new activity, then invite your attention back when you are ready. The mind is not a machine. It needs breaks and kindness. Gentle focus also works when you rest. Many people cannot relax because they keep blaming themselves for not being productive or for getting distracted. They try to make their minds empty, but the effort makes them tired. When you rest, notice each thought or feeling without pushing it away. Each breath is a small step back to relaxation. You can rest even if your mind is a little active. You allow yourself to be here as you are. Children, adults, and older people can all learn gentle focus. If you help a child with homework or play, use soft words when their attention moves away. Guide them back quietly and show them that it is normal to start again and again. Gentle focus helps every age. You may notice, after softly returning many times, that your mind's wandering becomes less strong. You do not get pulled as far or as fast. Your attention feels steadier, even if distractions are all around. You can finish more things with less frustration because you do not waste energy being upset with yourself. It can help to remember small times when you already used gentle focus. Perhaps you lost your place while reading and found your way back without worry. Perhaps you returned to cooking after being distracted by a sound. Remember these successes. They are proof that gentle focus is natural and possible at any time. Another helpful way to practice is to bring gentle focus into things you enjoy. If you listen to music, notice each note and melody. If you eat, taste each bite slowly, feeling the texture and flavor. If you paint, draw, or build something, watch your hands and stay close to the moment. These activities are easy ways to train your soft attention. Being kind to yourself is the heart of gentle focus. Your value does not depend on your ability to never be distracted. You are just as worthy when your mind jumps as you are when you are deeply focused. The world will always be full of sounds, tasks, and surprises. But as long as you treat yourself kindly, you will carry this new way with you wherever you go. Your gentle focus can also help those around you. If someone else is distracted or forgetful, show them patience. Speak in a soft voice, offer a smile, or share a small breath together. You make the world a little kinder each time you do. As you become more skilled in this practice, chores and duties can become more pleasant. Washing dishes, sweeping, writing, or even folding clothes feel easier when you do not force your attention but guide it back softly. Each time your thoughts wander, you remind yourself gently, return, and keep going. Remember that focus is not something you win or lose. It is a process. Each day is different. Some days it is hard. Some days it is easy. All that matters is that you notice, return, and speak to yourself with care. There may be moments when you forget this practice or feel discouraged. It is easy to slip back into old habits. Each time you remember, start again. Forgive yourself for forgetting. Take a small breath and return to the task or the moment. This is enough. Some people find that at the end of a busy day, their minds want to review everything that happened. If you feel restless or full of thoughts at night, you can use gentle focus to help yourself settle. Notice your breath. Feel your body lying down. Name any feeling softly. Tired, thinking, hoping, worrying. Let each feeling come and go without chasing or fighting it. You do not need to make yourself empty. You only need to return again and again. You can create your own gentle focus routine. You might take a quiet breath before meals, pause before sending a message, or touch your hand to your chest when you want to return to now. Let your practice be simple and kind. If you work with others who feel stressed or overwhelmed, show them the power of gentle focus. Share how coming back softly helps you feel better. Offer to practice together, maybe by taking a quiet moment before a meeting or starting a lesson. These simple acts make everyday life more peaceful for everyone. Gentle focus does not remove all problems, but it gives you confidence and comfort. It helps you do your work, learn things, and spend time with others without being afraid of mistakes. Each gentle return is an act of hope. Step by step, you learn that the most important thing is not perfect attention, but a loving and patient way of guiding yourself. You become skilled at noticing, returning, and being soft with yourself no matter what happens around you. This practice supports you for life. The world will always have more things to see, feel, hear, and do. Your thoughts will continue moving. Some days will be smooth, some will be stormy. In every moment, the skill of gentle focus is there for you. It is your way of coming home to yourself, acting with care, working, playing, and resting with kindness. Let your days be full of gentle attention. Let your mistakes and distractions be chances to grow softer and more friendly with your own mind. When you see others struggling, remember that patience is the gift you can give to yourself and the world. This soft way of bringing attention back turns daily life into a safe and welcoming place, no matter what is happening outside. Each time you carry gentle attention with you, the world around you remains busy. Noises still come, thoughts rise and fall, people move and speak. Technology brings messages at all hours, and your responsibilities ask for time and care. Nothing about the outside environment truly changes forever, no matter how many new habits you create or how carefully you plan your day. There are always unexpected events and surprises. Yet the way you meet this world can be completely different when you practice simple mindfulness, acceptance, and the kind returning of your focus. Living with distractions does not mean letting yourself be pulled away from everything important or giving up your goals and duties. It means you grow used to the fact that focus will come and go. Calm will appear and disappear. There will be minutes of quiet and minutes of noise. This movement is not a problem. It is the truth of a life shared by every person in every country and every situation. Your practice allows you to see distractions with clear eyes. Every sound or interruption is something you are ready to meet, not something you must fight against. You pause, notice what came into your field of attention, allow yourself a breath, and see how you want to respond. Many times there is no need to act with hurry or upset feelings. You find space to choose a softer reaction, and then you can return to your work, your rest, or your relationships. Calm does not mean making the world silent or keeping your mind empty at every hour. Calm means choosing a softer way to be with whatever comes. You allow your mind to notice a new thought, a new emotion, a new noise in the street. Then you let it move on by itself, without attaching judgment or blame to yourself or to others. If you are working or learning, distractions may arrive every few minutes. Sometimes they are small. The hum of a machine, a message on your screen, a memory that appears on its own. Sometimes they are large, like a family crisis, a sudden change in plans, or an unexpected problem. No matter their size, each one is another chance to use your gentle focus and kindness. When you lose attention, You remember to return in a friendly way, as you have practiced. When you get upset with yourself, you talk kindly, skipping anger or self-punishment. If you become tired from noises, you look for a way to rest, even for a few breaths. These habits keep your days softer and your mind safer, even on hard days. Life with distractions can have more balance when you do not require every moment to be as you want. Accepting that noise, change, and imperfection will always be with you gives you room to relax your control. You accept what is here, you do what you can, and you let go of needing everything outside and inside to fit your hopes all the time. Clarity grows as well. Instead of feeling lost or confused by every change, you learn to pay attention to what truly matters. You let your thoughts, feelings, and habits show themselves so you can see which ones are useful and which you can set aside. You start to know yourself as you are now, not as you think you must be every moment. Decisions become clearer and actions more gentle. With every day, freedom becomes deeper. This freedom is not about escape or laziness, but about trust. You trust that you can meet anything, even the hard moments, with patience. You trust your ability to return to your work, your loved ones, or your rest. You trust that distractions will not control your whole day, and that you do not have to control every part of life to be at peace. Your relationships may feel lighter. You are patient with other people's mistakes and their own distractions. You do not blame them for being human. You listen softly, guide gently, and show kindness through your own practice. Conversations become more honest, more open, and more understanding. When others see your patience and calm, they may feel invited to practice with you, even without words. This way of being also helps you in difficult times. There will be days when you feel anger, sadness, or fear. There will be moments of grief, loss, or worry. You do not have to pretend your emotions are always calm. This practice is not about putting on a quiet face, but about noticing what is honest in this moment. You let feelings appear and pass. When strong emotions come, you hold them with your own kindness, sit with them for a while, and return to the present gently, as many times as you need. At times, you may still be carried away by stress or lose your practice for a while. You may forget to pause or become upset with yourself. When this happens, you do not need to start from the beginning or feel disappointment. Each return begins from now, not from the past. You return to your breath, your senses, your awareness. You find calm again, even after a busy or painful time. Your daily routines do not need to change completely for this practice to work. You still work, care for your family, study, play, or rest. You still make plans and chase dreams. The only change is in the way you meet the world. Soft speech, slow breathing, clear noticing, and kind reminders to yourself become a natural part of every activity. If you forget, you begin again as soon as you remember. The freedom and balance of this practice do not remove the need for rest and self-care. You care for your body, giving it food, sleep, and movement. You care for your mind, allowing breaks, time in nature, and space to play and laugh. You include your own needs in your plans so you do not run out of energy or patience. Gentle focus is not just a skill for work or learning, it works in every part of life. When you share a meal, play a game, help another person, enjoy music, or do something creative, this same softness and noticing give life more color and joy. Periods of boredom or stillness are part of life too. If nothing special is happening, you do not need to fill the moment or make yourself busy. Let your mind notice the silence, the space, and see reminders of peace everywhere. These quiet moments help you return to center and refresh your practice of acceptance and presence. Pain, disappointment, and loss may come many times in life. This practice cannot make pain disappear, but it helps you carry pain with less fear and more strength. You notice your feelings, treat yourself kindly, and look for how you can care gently for your needs. The quiet inside you supports your return to hope, joy, and purpose after hard days. With time, your trust grows in both yourself and others. You know that every person is going through a life full of change and distraction, just like you. You know your value does not depend on perfect performance or empty thoughts, but on your practice of kindness, attention, and presence. Children learn from your example, seeing you return calmly after being distracted or when plans change. Friends and family feel safer and more relaxed with you. At work, your kindness helps build a space where people feel accepted and can bring their true selves. Distractions will be part of every day, no matter how well you practice. News, ideas, feelings, people, and technology will continue to move and change. Sometimes you will feel frustrated, sometimes peaceful, sometimes tired, and sometimes full of energy. Each experience is welcome. The habit of coming back to the present, accepting what is here, and treating yourself gently is what brings real balance. Every moment is another chance to practice, be kind, and be present. Even when you finish important tasks or reach your goals, the world will move on. The next challenge or distraction will always arrive. There is no final silence outside, but there can always be greater quiet inside you. In your practice, you have learned that distractions are everywhere and always appear in many forms: sounds, thoughts, feelings, worries, hopes, and events. You have seen that trying to force control and chasing perfect silence brings stress and disappointment. You notice that the true source of suffering is not the distraction, but your reaction and struggle against it. When you stopped blaming yourself or others and released the need to control every moment, you discovered peace was always possible right where you are. Through the teachings of Buddhist monks and regular people alike, you have seen that every mind is sometimes busy. Mindfulness is the patient practice of noticing what is happening inside and outside without judgment or harshness. As you practiced, you changed your relationship with noise, thoughts, and feelings. Softer reactions have grown. With patience, you discovered a quiet space inside, available at any moment you pause and breathe. Gentle focus helped you return to your work, your family, or your own feelings with kindness and less tension. You learned that peace does not mean escaping life or never being distracted, but treating yourself and others with acceptance and softness. Now your days are more balanced, and freedom comes not from making the world quiet, but from meeting life just as it is. Whether you are working, talking, learning, or resting, you carry calm and clarity inside. Trust in your own gentle strength. Let yourself come back to what matters, again and again, and know that every moment holds the possibility for quiet, kindness, and simple joy.